Hey guys, Dustin here, CEO of 630, and today I'm going to introduce you to our newest product, our Every Journey electric tricycle rickshaw for passengers. Stick around. All right, so today I'm going to introduce you to our new Every Journey electric tricycle rickshaw for passengers. You can see the seat right here. Before we get into this awesome new product, don't forget, hit subscribe below, stay in touch with us here at 630, be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, all the giveaways we do, and of course, our new product releases. So this product has been a long time in the making. For a while, we've been wanting to make a tricycle to allow passengers to come along for the ride, and now we have done it. Our Every Journey electric tricycle passenger rickshaw. Let me go ahead and walk you through this product. Okay, so let's get right into it. So you can see we've used our traditional swooping frame. We wanted it still to be easy to get on and off for most riders. Very simple. You can step on the pedal, pull the brakes, mount and dismount, and then you're on. And also one thing I'll just point out is it's a very comfortable ride. It's got our, traditional upright ergonomic riding position. The bars curve in. You see I don't have to lean forward at all. Keep your body upright. Really easy to steer and super comfortable. Now let's move back. We got our typical oversized seat. Also very comfortable as well. And of course, we have a quick release right here to move the seat up and down. And our suspension seat post. You're going to have a lot of weight on this tricycle. The suspension seat post is nice because it's going to move up and down over bumps. You can see as I put a little pressure on it. So again, just making it more comfortable as you ride, you go up and down, things like that. All right, let's make our way back to the back of the tricycle. Here is our seat. At the end here, we're going to show you some more demonstration of how many riders this can fit. I've taken this out with my children. I have a 6, a 4, and a 2-year-old. All three can fit here. And you can see we have a seat belt. In some of the photos we have in the white background, there's no seat belt. But just so you know, there is a seat belt. And this can fit around, again, I will say 3 small children, probably up to the age of 10, or 2 adults that I would say are small to average size adults. Or, 1 larger adult, and maybe 1 larger adult, 1 small child. And you can use the seatbelt. I'll just go ahead and show you a quick demonstration. I can fit back here, no problem. It's not roll away here. And I can pull the seatbelt. And the seatbelt's adjustable, so I can go ahead and loosen it. And click in. And you can see I am 5'10", about 220. And I've got enough room right here for 1 additional, child that could fit there. All right, so let me go ahead and hop off. And it's actually pretty comfortable. Yes, you're a little bit close to the seat here, but not too bad. The benefit of that, what we wanted to try to create was something a little more compact. There's other rickshaws that exist that you've probably seen in cities where people get towed around. The problem with that for at-home consumer use is it's going to be way too big. With this size, it's actually not that much bigger than a standard tricycle. I can keep this in my garage at home, and it's not bad. It's almost just like a trike. Obviously, there's a little bit of an extension right here, but again, it's not going to take up something where you've got this huge compartment in the back here. You can see the footrest right here, which is great. You can put your feet down and rest your feet during your rides. You've got 4-inch tires in the front and the rear. Now here's the interesting thing that makes for complete stability and safety of this electric rickshaw trike. These are 20-inch in the rear and 24-inch in the front. And what that does is it sets the rear end a little bit lower than the front, creating a lower center of gravity in the back, making it easier to balance and safer on turns, and just overall more of a stable ride. You can see when I ride this thing and you have passengers, it's stable, it's safe, doesn't feel like you're gonna tip over. So it's good to have that lower center of gravity in the back here. Also with these, they're gonna be a nice cushy ride, and should you want to go on trails or something, you can do that. These are more of a rugged tire. These are gonna really grip the pavement. Again, you don't wanna slide around. You don't want something that's gonna be dangerous. Okay, now moving back, and we have the fenders obviously on the front and the rear, just gonna, add a nice aesthetic and also prevent splash up, things like that. Under the seat here, in our production model, we are gonna have a basket. So there's gonna be mesh in here. Right now it's just open, but there will be mesh where you can store items under there and they won't fall through. So that'll be great to take things on your ride. Now, let's get into the other benefit is disc brakes. We've got disc brakes in the front and the rear, and we've got a disc brake on both wheels here in the rear and on the front too. So you're gonna have really, really great stopping power. Honestly, when you pull these, the bike is gonna stop no problem. It's not gonna go anywhere. Again, when we built this and designed it, we had to make sure this could be safe enough to bring passengers so you could, balance safely, stop safely, the whole 9 yards. Okay, let's talk about the electronics and the range and everything like that. This is a 21 amp hour battery with Samsung cells. When we talk about the range, I'm gonna say up to 50 miles of range. It possibly could be more depending on if you use pedal assist, if you use the throttle, however you operate it. The reason the range is gonna vary so much on a rickshaw trike like this is going to be because of the passenger load. If you're riding a single passenger, you quite honestly, with this size battery, a 21 amp hour battery, you could get ranges up to 70 miles, 80 miles if you're just in pedal assist. Now, if you're just using throttle, could be less. Keep in mind, you've got 3 tires touching the ground here, and these are 4-inch wide tires, so it's gonna be more drag on the battery. It's definitely gonna drain the battery faster than if you had less rubber hitting the road. Now, again, up to 500-pound capacity on this. We recommend up to 300 pounds on the seat here. If you're riding around at 500 pounds, battery's gonna drain quicker than if you're riding around at 200 pounds. So it's very hard for me to pinpoint an exact range. That's why we say up to 50 miles. But I've personally ridden this thing 50 miles and I've still had a bar left on the battery. And it also depends on, are you using flat ground? Are you riding on major hills? Being on big hills with a heavy load is going to drain the battery faster. So you'll have to get familiar with your riding habits, where you're riding, to get a feel for how long will the battery last. But this is a huge battery. We put a huge battery on it because you want to take this trike out for some rides with, a family member, a friend, your kids, whatever it may be, and you want that battery to last. Now let's move up here to the motor, which is in the front hub. This is a big 750 watt Bafang motor. Bafang has become well known in the e-bike motor space. You can see how large that thing is in the wheel. Having a front hub motor is great on these bikes for a couple reasons. One is, should the motor ever go out, if you own this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, motor goes out, replacing it's going to be very easy. We would just send you a new front wheel, disconnect one cable, plug it in, put the wheel on, and you're off and running. So the long-term ownership and replacement is going to be very simple and easy. And also this thing is super powerful. I'm going to demonstrate for you in a minute. I've had 3 passengers on the back plus me, and I've been able to hit 20 miles an hour with the throttle only. Now, I don't recommend obviously traveling at high speeds. The safety of your passenger is most important, but this motor is going to give you the power you need. You've got a light here in the front. You've also got your display right here. Go ahead and turn this on and show you. You've got your battery, you've got it all charged up. You've got your level of pedal assist here. You've got your distance, your speed. And apparently we've got our temperature outside as well. It's also going to tell you your output when you're using the motor. And then if you come over here, this is your throttle. So you've got a pedal assist option and a throttle option on this electric trike. So you can push this down. Let me go ahead and heads up. And you can see it's going to move. Or you can do it in pedal assist, or you can choose to not use the motor at all. So you can decide, pedal assist, throttle, whatever you want to do. Throttle works great on flat ground. It's easy to use. You can use the throttle to get going, which is nice because sometimes with this, getting started from a dead stop is going to be a little bit challenging. So pushing the throttle is going to be, a super helpful way to get going very easily. And we've decided to go with brown accents, so our brown bench seat, our brown seat here for the rider, and our brown grips. And then you've got your 2 brakes up here. The other benefit is you also have a 7-speed derailleur. So the benefit of this is in pedal assist, if you're coming up hills, you have the gear ratio, so you can go into 1st gear. Also, if you want to go faster, put it into 7th gear. So it's going to give you that range when you're in pedal assist to decide what gear is best for you. And it just makes for a better riding experience. Actually, riding this thing on a street, I'll go ahead and show you really quick, without using the motor, it really doesn't feel that difficult. So let me just show you right now. Now, obviously I don't have passengers, but right now I'm not using any assistance, and I'll demonstrate in a minute here with a passenger how you could also not use the motor. Okay, one last feature is also the front fork, which is a suspension fork. This is also great because you can choose if you want to lock it out. Lock it out means that you just basically eliminate the suspension element, or you can have the suspension and this can move up and down. The beauty of that is honestly just creating a smoother, cushier ride for not only you, but your passengers. So the bike will absorb some of the bumps and terrain, and you won't feel the vibrations, where if you have the fork locked out, you'll be able to go a little faster, roll a little smoother, but you're going to feel vibrations throughout the frame a little bit more. So let me go ahead and just do a quick demo of me riding by myself, and then we'll get some passengers on here for you. So if you want to just come a little closer. We have a little bell here too. So you're just going to push this, and you saw how it powered on. And I'm just going to show you right now throttle. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the throttle. And you can see this thing takes off. And the turning is easy. So it's really nimble. Now the key to driving any trike is just knowing that you can actually do a 0 turning radius. Okay. Okay, now I'll just show you pedal assist, which, I mean, it's going to do basically the same thing. Let you start pedaling. In comes the motor. And we brake. And you can see I'm actually on a slight hill right here. So coming up here, I'm coming a little bit uphill. Click in, there goes pedal assist, and I'm cruising up the hill. Okay, now let me go ahead and demonstrate with a single adult passenger. Okay, we've got Alana with us. Alana's 5'1", about 110-ish pounds. We're gonna demonstrate her on the back with me at 220, so we're at about 330 total pounds. We'll show you how easily the Rickshaw tricycle handles it. And then after that, we're gonna add another adult passenger. So if you wanna go ahead and get on, she can just demonstrate. She's got her seatbelt. Got it nice and tight.
Yep,
okay.
Feels good.
Now my turn. And I'll just go ahead and use the throttle. You can see this thing is very powerful. And with Alana on it, the motor doesn't even really struggle at all. And here we come, coming back. How's the ride?
It's great. Smooth.
Now let's do one more time. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and let me just show you. I'm gonna turn the motor off. Now, no promises here, but we'll see how this performs without the motor. And this is what, I mean, you can see, even without the motor, I can get her going pretty easily. Now this is a downhill. So let's try the uphill. Now this may be a little bit more difficult, but you can see I still can do it. But let me just go ahead and kick on that pedal assist. There we go. Much easier. And we're back. Okay, now let's throw one additional adult rider on the back and demonstrate that. Okay, so now we have Nate, who's normally behind the camera, and Alana. So I would consider these our small to average size adults. And they can both get on there. If Alana might just slide over a little bit more for him. There we go. Okay, there we go. Now let's just go ahead and do the throttle again. How you guys feel?
Very good.
Let's see the side angle. They're on there. And I'm just using the throttle, and no problem for the Every Journey electric tricycle. And the beauty is still gonna have a great turning radius. And here we come. And let's get up this hill. Now obviously we're moving a little slower than we did with just Alana. And Nate, you weigh about 160.
Yep.
So we've got about 270 plus me. So we're at about 490 right now. And we're still doing okay. Okay, and let me now just demonstrate in let me turn the pedal assist off. Okay, so I can still get us downhill, obviously. Problem. Okay, now I'm turning. No pedal assist right now. Definitely a little harder getting up the hill, so let's go ahead and put this on. And there we go. Now we're cruising 490 pounds. Easily can do it. How's the ride?
Great.
And we'll come to a stop. Okay, now we've got me and my wife Kara on here. Obviously I'm 220, Kara's 5'9". We are in the medium to large adult category, and Alana's gonna drive us. We're gonna show you how it operates. All right, this is our first adventure on this. We good?
I think so. This is my first time.
Let's keep it at a nice, easy pace.
Because I'm half on it.
Good steering.
When does the fork break? What's the maximum?
Are you doing full throttle?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going good. We're going uphill. Not bad. Easy peasy.
Do you want pedal assist?
Sure. Oh.
Turning. Yeah. Is this how the kids feel like they're gonna fall off? Probably not. Right?
Well, so all this audio is being recorded right now. Okay, we're gonna go for pedal assist now.
I need 4. 5.
Good to go. All right, we're cruising. 2 full-grown adults. There you have it. Okay, cool. We're just gonna do a little ride along here with Alana in the back, and I'm gonna show you how this baby performs. Let's do this. Honestly, even without a rider, it's really comfortable. Do you feel safe back there?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I don't know if you can shoot this hill, but this is a pretty massive hill. And we're gonna come back up this hill with Alana. And just also, like, the brakes work really good. All right. coming down, no problem. All right, this is gonna be a beast coming back up, but we can do it. I just want to show you guys a couple things too. People might have questions about, you know, can this fit in a bike lane? Can it go on a sidewalk? Let me go ahead and show you right now. We'll go ahead and answer those questions. So here's the bike lane. And you can see no problem, we're in the bike lane, right? And it's really not that much wider than a normal tricycle. Okay, we're gonna turn left here. And I'm just gonna show you sidewalk riding too. Go ahead and take this a little slower, but here's a normal sidewalk. And we can fit on that as well. So if you're not comfortable going on the street, you can go on the sidewalk. Even right up here, we've got trees and bushes to contend with. And we can do it no problem. So it's really easy and easy to drive and nimble, honestly. So we'll come down here. And now we'll just turn around and we're gonna tackle that hill. All right. Okay, so we've got 330 pounds on here right now. Getting the bike lane. Now we're gonna need to pedal to get up this hill. We're not gonna be able to just do throttle because of the load size. Okay, we're gonna wait for the cars here. It's fun back there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I love it.
Okay, let's do this. All right. I'll just do the throttle a little bit. I think we get a little steeper here. I'm gonna have to start pedaling. There we go. But just imagine we've got the weight of the bike, the tires, plus me and Alana. And I don't know if you can shoot the hill. This is a pretty big hill. Pretty steep anyways. And honestly, not too bad. Now I got it in first gear, which makes it easier to pedal. We're getting to the steepest section right here. So this is the home stretch right here. I actually can go one gear lower. There we go. Now, obviously we're slowing down a little bit at the steepest part, but we're still making it. And let's just be clear, I'm not making it up this hill without a motor. So it's definitely making this pretty easy. And there we have it. We did it. Hey everyone, Dustin, CEO at 630. I'm going to walk you through how to use and operate your e-rickshaw from 630. So in front of me, I have our electric rickshaw. It's got our passenger seat on the back, and I'm just going to take you through some simple steps on how to use not only the electric part of it, but also how to use it in manual mode. So once you have it all together and the battery is in the on position, so that's very important if you're going to use the electric at all. I can show you down here, the key must be turned into the on position right here. If it is in off or unlocked, nothing on the electrical element will work. Now, put that into on. Right up here on your left hand, you have the power button, which is located right here. So I'm going to go ahead and push that and hold it in. Now you can see your screen comes on. Right up here in the upper left, you have your battery right here. You have the level of assistance you're in. Now the level of assistance can be changed right here by pushing these up and down arrows. and you can actually put it into level 0. The motor is on, but it's providing no level of assistance. If this is in level 0, the throttle will not work either. From there, you have your distance. You have the outside temperature. You have the watt output of the motor right here. So you'll see that increase as you ride. And then you have your miles per hour, and then you have your actual riding time right there at the top. From here, I'll show you basically how to go ahead and start a ride with the electric. I don't have my helmet on, so I'm not going to be riding very fast. Now let me show you something else if you want to come in really quick here. Now you can see when I pull the brake, this little symbol pops up right here, basically indicating that the brakes are engaged. And at this point, the motor will not work. So if the brake is pulled, nothing is going to work. So you can see right here, I push the throttle with my hand engaged, nothing will work. So a lot of times when people have test rode for the first time, they're holding the brake and they go to push the throttle and nothing happens. That's because when the brake is pulled, the motor is cut. Now you can see right here, if I take my hand off the brake, the throttle will in fact work. Okay, so from here, I always recommend start out in level 1 until you are very used to the power output of the motor and how to ride with it. If you have over 300 pounds of passengers on the back, then you probably started in a level 2, 3, or 4. Also, the heavier the load you have on here, if you're planning on using the throttle, you can put the pedal assist into a higher level. So really, if it's a single rider on here, you can start it in the lower level. Just make sure that you're fully prepared for the kind of thrust you're going to get. Okay. Now, if you want to come in here for a close-up just on the throttle, the output of the throttle is just dictated by how much you pull or don't pull the throttle. It's just like a gas pedal. So the more you push the gas, the faster the car goes. The more you engage the throttle, the faster or more output you will get from the motor as well. So this is something you'll have to get used to and find your comfort zone with how much you engage or don't engage the motor.
So I'm in position now to take a little ride, and um, this is if we're just going to use electrical, right? So I'm just going to show you right here. Here's my thumb, and I'm just going to push this down, and then we start to move.
Now, for here, I can show you something with pedal assist again. Put this down a little bit.
I always recommend starting out in a lower gear. Now, these gears right here are for the bicycle element. Now, these are not linked to the electric in any way. These are essentially just like gears on a normal bicycle, and this is a trigger shifter. So you're going to push here. Now, normally you do not want to shift while you're standing still. That's very important. These gears typically only get shifted while the bike is moving, because when you shift, the chain starts to slide to a different cog in the rear, and that's what creates the different gears. So these actually cannot move gears while I'm sitting here. So when I start to pedal now, it's going to start to move the gears that I already shifted. But the plus symbol right here indicates that that'll take your gears up, and this gets pushed like this to go down. So here to go up, here to shift down. Okay. Now, I recommend if you're going to do pedal assist and you're starting from a dead stop, start this in a lower gear, 1 or 2, especially with 3 wheels on the ground with these fat tires. There's a lot of drag. And so you're going to want an easier gear until you have the momentum going. And if you're going to do pedal assist, I would say keep it below 3. Again, unless you have a very heavy load. If you have a load in excess of 350 pounds, then you could be in 3, 4, or 5. That's going to make it much easier. So you're going to have to get the pedals like a half rotation turned for the pedal assist to kick in. And then once there, you're going to feel it turn. Yep.
When you're riding, it's going to say assist above the assistance level. And then you're going to see the watt output increase right here. So now let me just show you if you want to ride it as a regular bike. So I'm going to turn everything off here, and I have it in second gear. And now I'm just going to show you, you can literally just ride it like a regular bike, shift it into first
Now in second. Now I'm in third. You just push this plus symbol with your thumb. Now I'm in second. Now I'm in third. And another recommendation is I always recommend stopping in first gear because then getting moving again will be so much easier. Now, let's show you a couple of other things. On the fork here, this is actually a fork and it has a position where it's open or locked. When it's locked, what that means is that the fork will be rigid, meaning these will not move up and down. The benefit of that, if you're on pavement and flat ground, it's gonna roll, have less resistance. Being locked out like that because there won't be any give to the fork, so you're not going to lose efficiency, and this will move up and down. If you're going to be going over a lot of bumps or a lot of curbs, and you want to have some absorption in the front here, you unlock it, and that allows the fork to move freely. So when you go over a bump, this can go down, come up and absorb some of that shock as you're riding. And if you're doing a lot of curbs up or down, or you're riding on a hard pack trail, maybe unlock that. If you're going very flat ground, you want to roll smooth and go faster, keep it in the lock position. Okay, now I'm going to have Peter come in here and explain in more detail. Some of the settings you can put on the display, how to change certain elements of the display on your e-rickshaw.
Hey everyone, Peter here at 630. Let's just go through the 3 basic screen displays that you can have and what they mean and how to make a couple basic changes. So here on the screen I have what I might call kind of your the default screen, and there are 3 that you can switch through by using the power button up here. On this screen here we have the time that we rode on our last ride. So you can see this is actually just showing like we did a 3-minute ride. And then it showed how far we went, which in this case is just 0.4 miles. I just did a short ride to get a little bit of data on here. Over here you have your assist level, 0 through 5. I can change these with the up and down arrows. So there's 0, which means no assist whatsoever. It would be just like riding a regular bike or trike. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the up and down arrows. In the center, obviously, you have miles per hour. That'll tell you how fast you're going while you're riding. And then down here is the ambient temperature. Today, warm 86. It doesn't feel like 86. It feels cooler than that. But anyway, this says 86. And then you can also have motor temperature if you like. Okay, so we can by hitting the power button 1 time. And then that will switch us over to here. I'm going to switch through again just to show you how that did. So it switches to, go back. So this was the one we were on, and then we're going to switch to the next screen. This one shows a little bit different information. At the top here we have total time ridden. So we've ridden this e-trike for 58 minutes total on all of our rides. So it's a new one, we've only put 58 minutes on it. Our average speed that we've ridden has been about 8.6 miles per hour. And then our odometer, which will not change, we've put a total of 6.4 miles on this rickshaw on all of our rides. And then again, the temperature here, 86. So I'm going to go over here and hit the power button again, and then it will change the screen to the 3rd display. Still shows our total time. Now here it has max speed, so 15.9 miles per hour is the fastest we got on our last ride. It's also showing voltage. You know, not really that important, but it's a 48 volt battery, so it's showing 49 volts right now. You just kind of want like a, somewhere in the vicinity of 48 volts, usually more than 48. And then our ambient temperature again. If I hit power again, I can go back to the regular setting. Now on this one, we can go ahead and reset it because this is the trip odometer. It says distance. This is the trip odometer, so that's our last ride, as opposed to the odometer, which will show our cumulative time. You cannot change that one. But this one you can change by hitting the up and down arrow at the same time. You hold them down for about 3 seconds, and then the screen will start to flash our time that we rode on our last ride and our mileage. And they're gonna hit the power button. Whoops, I waited too long. So we're gonna have it flash again, and then we're gonna hit the power button in the center, and it will set back to 0 for our next ride, if you want to go out and see how far you ride and how much time it took. Okay, so there we are, we're reset again for our trip odometer. Again, that was all I did was hit the up and down, everything flashing. Of course here it's all zeros because I just reset it. To reset, hit the power, it'll go back to zeros, and it's reset for your next ride. Okay, that's really it. There are a lot more capabilities on this display, but they get fairly complicated, and a lot of it is just stuff that you really don't need, and most of it's set at the factory. But there are other things you can do, but it gets somewhat more complicated. We have other videos we have, and we can also share, but those are your basic functions that you'll use on a daily basis.
Okay, now that Pete's explained some of the display settings, I'll just walk you through a couple other things up here on the handlebars. One quick thing is you have your horn right here. The other thing is to turn, okay. So this is now walking mode. So if you have to go up a big hill and push the trike, you can hold the down button. Now we're on flat ground, so it's gonna be quite powerful, but you hold that down and it's gonna move with you. Now, that's one option for walking mode. The other option, quite honestly, is just push this very lightly. Oh, sorry, we're in 0 here. So push that very lightly and you can walk with the trike. Okay, now if you hold the up button down, this is going to turn your lights on. So you'll see this symbol right here. And if you take a look here at the front headlight, although it's very bright out here, you'll see that that turns. All right, and now we can just hold the down button right here to turn that off. And you can see it switches off right here. And you have your horn right here. I think that's important, especially with this size of an e-bike. When you're coming up on people. You have a bell right here. Go ahead and use that. Now, one other feature as well is the parking brake, which you may need when you're leaving this on a slight incline or even just parking it somewhere. Now, the parking brake is right here. It's this little lever here. And what you do to engage it is you just pull the lever and then push this down like so. And that keeps the grip or the brake down. So that's your parking brake. Now the bike can't move, and to disengage, just pull down and this pops up. So to operate the seatbelt, it's pretty self-explanatory. You just plug it in and you just kind of pull this back like that, and then you would slide this. And to loosen, just pull out like so. And now coming to the back here, you have your basket underneath here, and you just loosen this latch and this comes down. Put anything you need in there on your rides, and this easily comes back up, and you just lock that back into place, clamp that down, and you have your ride. Now the rear tail light is actually engaged when you hit the brakes, so pull the brakes and the tail light will engage and light up. And that's basically the full tour of what you need to know to be operational and up and riding. Let's take you through for a little test ride, and I'll show you how I steer and navigate on the e-rickshaw. I'm gonna go ahead and push the throttle. You can see I'm engaging the throttle, and you can see my wattage output of the motors displaying there, my miles per hour, and our assistance level. Go ahead and speed up a little bit. All right, now a few things about steering the rickshaw and driving the rickshaw and driving a tricycle if you've never done it. The weight distribution and how you turn, and you can just shoot up here now. There we go. So when you're on flat ground, it's pretty easy. It's a little bit different on a tricycle in that on a two-wheel bike, you're gonna be doing more leaning, but on a tricycle, you actually have to do steering. So I'm not leaning to get the bike to steer, I'm actually turning the handlebars. So I think that's important. If we make a U-turn right here, you need to turn the handlebars, okay? And trust that the bike will stay balanced. On a two-wheel bike, you kind of lean into it and you do steer the wheels, but it's a little bit less of a turn. On a tricycle, you have those two wheels in the back and it's going to balance. So the other thing too is a lot of people get on and they always feel like the bike is pulling them in a certain direction. Now again, with the two wheels in back, sometimes the bike needs to be steered, right? On a two-wheel bike, it's more balancing. On a trike, you actually need to steer a little bit. Now, once you get the hang of it, you'll be doing it unconsciously, and just know that there is an adjustment period to getting used to a tricycle. If you've never been on an adult tricycle in your adult life and you've never steered something, it can definitely feel different, but it's not the trike. It's just the fact that riding a two-wheel bike is so much different, and a lot of riders' brains become programmed to how to operate a two-wheel bike, but a three-wheel bike is much different. So just remember, it's less about your body weight shifting to steer and more about the actual act of turning the bars like this. And now you make your circle, and you just have to learn to trust the tricycle that it will stay balanced. Now, a couple other things. You never want to ride horizontally across a very steep incline. So if this was an incline straight ahead of us, you never want to come straight across it like this on a tricycle because you obviously have a risk of tipping. On a two-wheel bike, it's going to find that balance point so you can do that. Going up and down hills should be no problem. Now, if you're taking turns at a very high speed, which you should never do on a tricycle, but as you start to turn this way, right, the bike could possibly, the wheels could come off the ground, right? So you want to lean into the turn, just like this. And honestly, this is a pretty well-balanced electric trike because of the 4-inch wide tires. So in most situations, you won't even need to do this. But if you really want to feel safe, just lean into it, keeps all the wheels down, and you'll be riding no problem. And as you get more and more comfortable, you're going to start to naturally just lean with the turns like you would on your two-wheel bike. So again, if you've never ridden an electric trike as an adult, it's a whole relearning period, just like when you learn to ride a two-wheel bike, right? I think there's an expectation for people that when they get on an electric tricycle or a tricycle of any sorts, they should be able to do it. And you will be able to stay balanced, but the nuances of steering and turning and going up hills feel different and take a little getting used to, and it will happen. Just do some test riding, get out for rides, and over time, I promise you, you'll start to feel more and more comfortable very quickly. One thing I'll just say too with braking is your left brake is your front brake and your right brake is your rear brake. And you've got two rear brakes. So if you're going to pull one singular brake, use your rear brake, okay? Because you got two disc brakes back there. Or you can engage all brakes at the same time, right? So it's important if you're going at very fast speeds, don't just use the front brake. Either use the rear brakes or use all three brakes together. Again, if you pull the front brake too heavily, there's always that risk that maybe you could go over the handlebars, although you'd have to be going very fast on a trike, especially for that to be the case. But it's just important, especially if you have a load on the back, try to use all three brakes at the same time. That'll be the best option to give you the most braking power, or the rear by itself. And there we have it. Now we're just going to walk through how to use the pedal assist and the shifting of the gears a little bit. So I'm in level 3 right now. So I'm going to go ahead and start out pedaling. And then once we turn the gears around, the pedal assist will kick on. All right, there we go. All right, so now we are doing pedal assist. All right, and we're going to come over here. All right. Now we get some flat. I'm gonna actually shift this down a little bit. Okay, so you can see right now, I'm gonna put this down into first gear. It gets easier for me to pedal in the lower gears. Now, in the lower gears, if you start to get the speeds up higher, like if you start to really go fast, you're gonna need to start shifting up, right? And I can push my trigger shift. Now, my pedaling will match the assistance level much better, so I'm not over pedaling or under pedaling. And then as you slow down and you start to go slower, you'll want to shift down here if you're using pedal assist. Okay? So if I have this in 5, I'm getting maximum assistance. I'm gonna wanna really start to shift up, match my pedaling to the assistance. And then as I shift down, I wanna shift down here. Okay? Also, a little recommendation, don't pedal into the turn, just pedal when you come out of the turns on trike to help maintain your balance. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and turn the motor off completely. So now it's in 0, and I have it in 3rd gear. I can shift this down to 1st, which is gonna make it even easier to pedal. Or I can now move up a little bit. 2nd, right now, you know, with 1 passenger on the back, this feels okay. Now keep in mind, with the 4-inch wheels, it is challenging to pedal, especially if you have a passenger on the back. So we got a little incline here. Go ahead and put this into 1st, but you can definitely do it. All right. Get a little assistance now. Go ahead and put it into level 2. There we go. That makes it much easier. And we're off and running. So there you have it. Using the brakes, and then I don't know if you can see as well, but on the gears, I use my thumb for everything right here. And coming over to the other side, if you see on the pedal assist side, I like to actually use my pointer finger. You can use your thumb too to do the up and down. That works as well. Sometimes I could use my pointer finger for the top and my thumb for the bottom. Honestly, whatever is most comfortable for you, you'll figure it out as you start to ride more and more. All right, there you have it. Coming in for a landing here. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin, CEO of 630, and today we're gonna do the assembly on our Every Journey electric tricycle rickshaw. We have the box right here, so we're gonna take you step by step from the unboxing to the completion of assembly so you can see all along the way how to build your new rickshaw. Now, it's a large box. It's going to be showing up to you LTL on a truck, usually with a lift gate, and it'll be on a pallet just like this, or sometimes it will have feet attached to the bottom of the box to turn it into its own pallet. So the weight of this box alone is 160 pounds, and I was gonna give you some dimensions of the box here as well. So it's 69 inches long by 35 inches wide, and also 31 inches tall. So again, a very large box. If you're home when this gets delivered, probably in your best interest to ask them to pallet jack it into your garage or wherever you'd like this to go. Once you get the actual tricycle out of the box, it'll be a lot easier to move because you can use it on the wheels and pull it and take it to where you may want to build it. So large box, lots of packaging. So let's dive right into it. Okay, so first I have a box cutter here. If you have some snips, those will work well as to also unbox it. You're gonna wanna get the strapping off right here, so you can just go ahead and cut these off. Be careful using your box cutter. So get those off of the box. And I'll come around here and cut this one as well. There we go. Okay, now the top's gonna be taped, so let's go ahead and remove all of that. Now we gotta cut down the middle. So there's tape and staples on the top here. So be careful when opening the box Be mindful of the staples. If you'd feel better, you can also remove the staples before opening the box, but just be careful because these staples can sometimes stick out as well. All right. So there's actually a box inside the box. So we've got another box in here as well. Now this one doesn't have any tape. It's just stapled. Go ahead and pop this back. There we go. And now let's go ahead and give you a look inside the top of the box here. Okay, so when you open the box, you'll have this protective foam on top. You can remove that, and we'll go ahead and just tuck that in down here for right now. Okay. Now on top here, you can see you've got your rickshaw seat right here. You have your fenders. So actually a good idea probably would be to take this piece right here and lay this down on the ground, and then you can start placing some of your parts down on here. So there's your fenders. We have our seat right here. Go ahead and put that down here. And you're gonna have this box of different parts in here. This will have your pedals, reflectors, some other stuff. So we'll put that down here as well. And then now we have the seat. And this is not actually too heavy, so you can lift that out as well. And we will set that down right here. Okay, now when you get all that stuff out, you can see the bike comes pretty much fully assembled. So from here, we have to remove the bike from the box, which I will show you how to do. And your front wheel comes attached to the frame here. So before I start removing anything, I'm going to cut that off, cut all the zip ties off so we can remove things easily. So the front wheel is zip tied on, the handlebars are zip tied on. And then what I'm gonna do is cut the front of the box to be able to take the bike out. Okay, so I've switched to a little snip device here. You can use a box cutter or a scissor. And I'm just gonna go through and snip all the zip ties here. There are no parts attached that are loose. So let's see, the handlebars. Now the handlebars actually, I think I will leave zip tied until I pull it out. So to make this easier, you'll want to take out, there's one more zip tie down here. So you'll want to snip that, and then we can start removing the front tire. Okay, now we have the front tire, which is free. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that, and we can set that aside anywhere you like. I'll go ahead and put it right here against our seat for right now. So now we have everything loose sitting out on our foam. Okay, now from here, we have to get the frame out of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the front of the box here. I'm just gonna cut the box right here. And be careful using your box cutter. And if you're gonna cut up like me, just watch your hands. Okay. Okay, now there are two boxes, so we're gonna have to go through two of these. Okay, now I'm going to take this piece of foam and just put this here too, so we have a place to roll the bike. There we go. Okay, now you can take the fork and just roll it right out. Pretty simple. So from here, I'm just gonna back this up. Oh, there we go. And we can put our fork down onto our foam. Okay, so from here, you can discard the box, cut it up, do what you need to do. I'm gonna move it out of the way so we can start the assembly process. Okay, we've got everything laid out nicely. You can either leave the packaging on. Sometimes that's a good idea during the assembly process so things don't get damaged. So I'm going to selectively remove some packaging now just to make it a little bit easier. Like I said, the handlebars were still zip tied on, so I'm going to go ahead and remove the handlebars. So now these can move freely. And there's one, sorry, not one, there's tape right here on this. So also if you're using a box cutter to remove the tape, just be very careful not to scratch and just try to, poke the tip of the blade under the tape just to get enough to remove the tape. Okay. All right. So now I'm just going to insert the stem of the handlebars into the headset so we can get the handlebars out of the way. Okay, so get those in here. Actually, we need to flip these like that. There we go. Oh, and there's some packaging. Oh no, that's actually from the headset. Okay, now you can just insert that in right here. Okay, now there is, I believe there's a cap that goes on there. We can run back through that, but we've got that in there now. Handlebars are out of the way. Now I'm gonna come in here and remove the packaging on everything on the fork, because the first step that I like to do is getting the front wheel on. Once we get the front wheel on, this thing's gonna be balanced and we don't have to worry about the fork or anything getting damaged while touching the ground. And I like to clean up my garbage along the way. Now again, I'm gonna use my box cutter here on the fork. Be very careful not to scratch or poke the fork in any way when removing the tape here. Okay, so we got that free. Go ahead and pull this off. Okay. And now coming around right here. All right, okay. So now, most of the oh, I didn't tighten that down yet. Okay, now we remove that. Okay, now in the axle here actually is a bolt. Now this is packaging. I'll go ahead and hold it up to the camera. It's a silver metal bolt. It's there to keep the fork from bending outward if it were to hit the ground or something. We're gonna need to remove that. Now, you should be able to, you can lift this up, it's pretty light. You should be able to, well, hand loosen it. So we actually are gonna need a wrench to loosen that. So, let me go ahead and get, I believe, a 15mm wrench, and we can remove that packaging. Okay, so I grabbed a 15mm wrench. You're just gonna basically put that on here, and it just takes a very little turn to crack that bolt off. And then do the other side. Okay, yeah. And we can now put the fork back down gently and make sure that's resting on some packaging or foam or mat when you remove that. So let me go ahead and show you what this looks like. So it's an actual long bolt that goes through the axle, and it has nuts like you would find on a bike. And so just, you can discard this. You won't need this for anything else. That's simply packaging. If you were ever going to travel with your rickshaw, put it in a some kind of, you know, an RV or a car or a large van or something, you could hold on to this if you were going to remove the front wheel to take it with you, but other than that, you'll have no use for it. Okay, and right here you have your light, which I'm just going to leave that dangling for the time being, and we will, you know, attach that once we get the tire on. So just put that into a safe place. And now we'll move on to the front wheel installation. Okay, so in preparation of installing the front wheel, I've removed all the washers and the axle nuts. You can see I've got them safely put down here. So you're gonna remove everything except the small inside washer right here. So that one is gonna stay on the wheel. Now, if you can also see the axle here, it has a flat part here. You have to be mindful of that when putting the fork in. Now you want the cable to stick up so you can connect it. So you need to have it in this position, and then I'm gonna bring it here. If you have a helper around, this is a good time to maybe ask for some help, or you can do it on your own, but having somebody else lift the front end up can generally help a little bit. Now you can also kind of go like this and lift it on like this. And now from here, you have to find the place. You kind of want to rest the fork on there. Now you can see it's settled in. Now, one thing is you have to make sure, if you come around to this side really quick, make sure the rotor from the disc brake is slipped inside the pads of the disc brake. So the calipers, you want the rotor in the middle. If you're having trouble getting the wheel on, it could either be hung up with the rotor not going in the middle of that, or it could be hung up with the fork position not correct. So you can see by looking down here, we have found that flat part actually straight up into the fork. Now from here, while we're down here, we can go ahead and connect the motor if we like. So if you see on here, there's an arrow pointing right here, and there is an arrow pointing here. So when you connect these, you're going to want to match those two up like so, and click that in, and now your front motor is connected. Okay, from here, we need to reassemble all of our washers. So first we're going to take our washer that has the little notch on it. That is going to go over the axle like so, so that notch fits into the fork opening down here. And that is basically going to be so it prevents the fork from shifting or moving. Then we will go ahead and put our washer on top of that. And we will now install our bolt. Put that on, put your washer on, and now install your bolt. Okay, and we'll need to use our 1/2 inch, and we'll do the same thing here on the other side. Go ahead and put our washer in right there. Make sure the notch is in there. It is. Put our washer on. And just go ahead and hand tighten those as much as you can. Okay, now from here, want to make sure your wheel is straight. So line up the center of your tread with the center of the fork. It should pretty much sit that way. There's not much play in there. And then from there, go ahead and tighten these down. I like to do a little bit each side until I get it fully snug. So that's not all the way tight. Just gonna go ahead and do this side first. And if you have a ratcheting wrench like I do, it makes this job quite a bit quicker and easier. Or a socket set would also do the trick. You may need some extended length sockets though. Okay, now from here, I'm gonna go ahead and push this down a little, come back here. This side I'm pulling up. I could also go like this. Oops. Now you wanna get to the point where when you're giving it force, it won't go any tighter, but you don't wanna crank down on this with your foot or anything. There, that's tight. That's not going anywhere. So now, we have our front wheel fully installed, and now everything's gonna be a lot easier that it's balanced and it can't go anywhere. Okay, now we're going to get the handlebars locked into position and then move on to the seat. Because actually in the current state, once we get the seat on and the pedals on, you could actually ride it. We don't have to get the passenger seat on. You don't have to get the fenders on. So if you're excited to just get out there riding, what I'm gonna do is show you the process to get to the point of a working trike, and then we'll add all of the sort of accessories, if you will, the fenders and the seat on there. Okay, now in this box right here, this is going to have your seat post. This is the cap for the headset, which we're gonna need right now. This is your charger in this box right here. We'll go ahead and set that to the side. Pedals, you also have some tools in here. I do recommend using your own tools if you have them, but you have the Allen keys. You also have some zip ties and a little plug looking device, which is gonna be for the handlebars. I'll show you in a second, so set that aside, don't lose it. You also have instructions on here to work on your disc brakes, replacing your disc brakes, and how to fit the wheel on, and also some instructions for the display as well. And not in this video, but in some other videos, we will walk you through the display and how to use that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and take our cap here. Now the cap is going to go right on top like so. If you need to peel back the packaging a little bit, go ahead and do that. It's gonna sit there. This is decorative really. It's just to hide everything underneath. And it is possible we have to loosen, nope, the top bolt we don't. This should go right in. There we go. Now the looser I get it, the easier this would go in. Okay, now it's in there. Now from here, let's go ahead and remove this top packaging. And I actually just so happen to have my box cutter here. So let's go ahead and pull this, be careful. And let's remember, cut away from yourself at all times if you can. Okay, now we have that bolt free right there. Now this bolt, as I've mentioned in other videos, is one of the most important bolts on the bike here. You want to make sure your handlebars are lined up straight with the wheel. If this is off center, it's going to feel really weird when you're steering. So line up the front to the middle of the tire, and then go ahead and tighten down this bolt. And again, you want to get this as tight as you can get it, but not over tight. Now, handlebars are locked in place. And from there, we would move up to these two bolts behind the display here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the packaging here as well. And there's our display. Go ahead and cut this off as well. All right, now underneath the display here, you can see we have two bolts. These actually are for the tilting of the handlebar. So if you want to find the ideal tilt for yourself, you're going to want to loosen those. Let me go ahead and just remove this packaging right here. Again, be careful, your grips are under there. You don't want to tear those. And one more piece here, there we go. Actually, one more under here. Okay, you can unravel that. There are our brakes. And then from here, I know there's a lot of packaging, but it really is to ensure that your trike gets there in safe condition. Alrighty, now we have our brakes, our shifter, our throttle, it's all revealed. And we can find the tilt. Now, that tilt honestly doesn't look too bad to me. It looks pretty good. But let's go ahead and show you how to adjust it. All right, so to get to these two bolts, you have to shift your screen a little bit forward. Oh, and again, sorry, to loosen the bolts here and the handlebars, it is a 6mm Allen key. So let's go ahead and loosen that. And this Allen key does come in the box. If you can get one with a handle like this, it does make it a little bit easier. So now that those are loose, you can find the position that you feel is best for you. I think that looks pretty good. And from there, also you're gonna see, if you can see from the front here, I'll show you, there's rivets in the handlebar. These wanna be in the middle because that's what the stem clamps down onto, okay? So make sure if you can, you don't see any of those. Then from there, go ahead and get one of your bolts tight, okay? And then shift this back. And again, we wanna make sure we tighten a little bit each time. Now this is a very important bolt on the bike. So I recommend getting it to the point where you can't tighten it anymore, okay? And then we can give it a little check test here. Let's go ahead and tighten that. Okay. Okay, so on this adjustable stem, there actually is another adjustment point underneath here. And you can see if we loosen that, because I was noticing our bars were moving a little bit. So if we loosen this, now I can actually move the handlebars to some crazy positions. So it gives you a lot of customizable movement, but you need to make sure this bolt is as well tight. So I was noticing we had a little bit of give on ours, and it is because of this bolt right here. So go ahead, and this is a 5mm Allen key. So go ahead and get your Allen key in there, and let's just tighten that down. And again, we want to make sure that's absolutely as tight as it can go. Okay, now from there, you can see we got no give. It's nice and tight, and we are ready to ride. I'm just going to give it one more tighten, one more check. Again, these 4 handlebar bolts are 4 the most important bolts on the bike. You want to make sure those are tight. So I'm just going to come through here one more time and just double check. Okay, I feel great about that. Now from here, we can move on to the seat installation. Okay, so you have a plug here as well. It's a little gray plug, came in that small box. This is actually used, it's a decorative piece. Honestly, put it in if you want or don't. It goes right in here. So you're just gonna put it in here, and it just covers up that bolt right here. So it makes it look a little prettier. Now our stem installation is complete. We'll move on to the seat. So we've got our seat right here. Let's go ahead and just take the packaging off. Alrighty. All right. And we'll just put that right here. And now we have our seat post right here as well. Now, on the bottom of the seat post, because it is a suspension seat post, you actually have a nut on the bottom here, and this is used to adjust the amount of give that there is in the seat. So you can loosen or tighten that depending on how much you want the seat to move up and down. Totally up to you. Okay, so this is going to slide onto the rails here of your seat, like so. So what we need to do is we're going to have to take this top piece off, set it on the top of the rails, and then tighten it all down. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this top part right here. Okay, and from there, okay, now you're gonna want to seat this on there like this. Now there's little notches on there, you can see. That's where your rails need to sit. This is a good place to sort of position it Now you've got notches on this top piece as well. So you're gonna fit that in here, like so. And now that you have it in there, you're gonna put your tightening nut on top. And what you can do is you can hold all the hardware with your hand like so. Get this right here. Oops, there we go. And then when I have that nut up against the bolt, I can actually take my Allen key, and there's the bolt right here on top. And this is again a 6mm, and I can just start tightening that. Okay. And then once you get it just tight enough where at least it's staying, then you can come in. So I have it in there. Now I can come in and do my full tight on the top here. Okay, once you have it on there loose, you can play around with your angles. So I'm gonna come over to the seat, and I loosen the quick release here. So now we can slide the seat post in, like so. Oops. Okay, now from here, find the angle that works best for you. And let's see. There we go. Kind of adjust that. So right about, I think that looks pretty flat. So go ahead and pull it out, and then try not to move it. And then from there, go ahead and tighten it down all the way. Let me just double check this before I commit to that. That looks pretty good to me. It looks pretty flat. Okay, now this is also another really important bolt, because if this doesn't get tight, it's possible that the seat can tilt and move while you're riding, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank that down. This is the 6mm Allen key as well. Get that nice and tight. Okay. And from there, let's go ahead and put that back in. And there we go. Seat is in. Now on the quick release, you can find your desired height. You want to turn this side right here, the nut or the bolt. And actually, let's first get this repositioned. Okay. So you want this to be facing this direction. You can hand tighten this screw like so. Okay, as tight as you can. And then see how that's pretty difficult for me? Clamp that all the way on. I actually have the seat crooked. Make sure the nose of your seat is lined up with your frame. Okay, that looks good. And now clamp that down, and your seat should be nice and tight. If it is loose, you can unlock it, continue to hand tighten right here, get that all the way tight, and push that down. Now you can see it did leave a little bit of a mark on my hand. So you can use a towel or something to protect your hand, but you want that to be tight because you don't want that seat to come loose while riding. Okay, now from there, we'll move on to the pedals here. Now the pedals are a fairly straightforward process. On the inside of your pedal, I don't know if you can see this on camera, there's very small letters. There is an L on this one and a R on this one. So go ahead and switch those actually. So this is our right pedal. Now the thing about the pedals on a bike is they always tighten forward. So on the right pedal, it's going to be the typical righty-tighty, but on the left pedal, it's going to be lefty-tighty, because they always tighten forward. So you just screw those in, it's threaded, and go ahead and get it as hand tight as possible. And same thing on this side, just repeating the process. And again, just get it as tight as you possibly can with your fingers like so. Okay, perfect. Now from there, I'll just go ahead and take some more of this packaging off. And we We can remove this. Okay. And now it is a 15 millimeter wrench to tighten this all the way down. Okay, so we have our 15 millimeter, pretty basic. Just gonna insert it here on the nut and go ahead and tighten till tight. Okay, and again, you want to give it a couple really good cranks, so that's all the way. And the same thing right here. Let's go ahead and hold the back wheel. There we go. Okay, now that's really tight. I feel good about it. You can also get the wrench in a position where you can, there we go. Perfect. So pedals are on. Let's go ahead and remove this packaging from right here. So from here, you essentially have a fully usable, ready to go trike. Now, we haven't adjusted the gears or the brakes yet. Obviously, adjusting the brakes before you ride is essential. Don't go and ride without adjusting the brakes. We're going to get to that step shortly. But in essence, the bike can roll, the bike can move. It is fully operational. Okay, now we're going to move on to the front fenders. And go ahead and open up your packaging. And let's see which one is which. So the front fender is going to have this little tab on the top here. And it is going to install right here. And you can see we have our nut already inside of the fork here. So I'm going to go ahead and take all the hardware off. Okay, so when you remove it, you actually have a washer, a little washer for the back, and a bigger washer and the nut, and then your bolt and your washer for the front. There's 2 rivets on the top of the fender. I'm gonna put those in the back. And on the light here, it's actually got some rivets which can grab the bolt. So I'm gonna put the light in the front. So what we're gonna do is take this, put that through, put the, and don't get your cable caught in there. Okay, so now got that on, and then coming around to the back here, I'm going to put on my big washer first, and then I'm gonna put my little washer on. There we go. Okay. And on that big washer, I put the curved side into the fork, okay? And again, tighten as much as you can. This is a lock nut, so that's a 10 millimeters. One's gotta go on the back side to keep this tight, and then one here on the front, and you're just gonna have to tighten like so. And I'm gonna wait till I get it a little bit tighter. So it's a little tighter now, but I can adjust things where they're gonna stay in place. Make sure your fender is in a good position. You don't want it on the wheel. That looks pretty good. So from there, go ahead and put this on. Oops, there we go. And just tighten. There we go. And just check, make sure that feels good. And that's all installed. Now you can see here on the light, there's some play here. Now this has its own Allen key as well. So you may want to come in here and just make sure this bolt right here is tight. This is too big, but let's see. We need an actual smaller Allen key for that. But you just want to tighten this down to the point where it's not moving. Also, you can just get a wrench in there and tighten that a little bit more, and you don't want this flopping around while you ride. So that's good for right now.
Okay, so before we install the rear passenger seat, we're gonna go ahead and make some initial adjustments on the brakes and gears if needed. So now's a nice time to give a little test ride to the bike. just by yourself and see how the brakes and gears feel. You can also test them before you head out, make sure that they're giving you a nice positive stopping feel right there. And then we can run through the gears. So right now we will go ahead and show you how to adjust the brakes if you need to adjust these for the initial adjustment. It's always a good idea if you want to adjust these to, I would just take the passenger seat off. It makes it easier if you want to get to those later. But there are also some other things I can show you later on to make some little adjustments as you need some modifications as time goes on with the passenger seat on. It's really not that hard to access, the gears especially with the seat on, but the brakes are much easier to do with the seat off. So let's go ahead and get into that. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do the rear. So there are actually 3 disc brakes on this bike. Of course, there's one in the front, and then there are 2 in the rear, 1 for each wheel, okay? So the right lever actually operates 2 calipers here in the back for the disc brake, all right? So the first thing we're gonna do is we'll come over here, and all we need is a 5mm Allen wrench. Okay, so we're going to adjust the brakes now. Actually, what I've done is I went ahead, since there are 2 brakes activated by the 1 lever, I went ahead actually and detached this caliper just by opening the cable pinch bolt right here. And so this cable is loose, and so this cable is free, and it's not going to be activated by the brake lever. So I'll just be working on this one to start off with. So I'll just make sure, because that lets me know that when I pull the brake lever, how it feels just for this guy. Okay, so we've got these 2 bolts here that hold the caliper in its alignment. So we need to loosen those because we're going to go ahead and align it. And we need to let the caliper be a little bit loose. So just a little bit of loosening on those bolts, and then that lets the caliper be free to move how it wants to. And then what I'm going to do is come in and look at the clearance of the rotor, and it should be pretty close. And then you can also tell by the feel of the lever if it has a good tightness. So I'm looking at it right here, and I'm just looking for a little bit of daylight between the rotor and the caliper. And then what we want to feel up at the lever here is that when it's tight, it will start to basically stop about halfway through the pull. So we're able to go a little bit farther than that. So maybe I'm going to tighten these pads a little bit more. And that's by adjusting this 1 pad on this side, okay? So now I have just a little bit of clearance, which is great. And then by referencing, looking daylight, seeing the daylight for the clearance between the brake pad and the rotor, I'm going to hold the rotor in that position and try not to get in the shot here. And then we'll just go ahead and tighten those adjustment bolts down to lock in the alignment. These bolts require 8 Newton meters, and you want to make sure that they are very firmly tightened down. And then, so that's your alignment. And then, of course, you can pick the wheel up and see how it goes. This one's dropping just a little bit, so I'm going to just adjust a little bit over here. I'm going to loosen this pad just a touch. And then you can see it's running perfectly. Okay, so this process for the left brake is going to be exactly the same. I went ahead and left the adjustment on the right brake done. So we're going to go ahead and reattach the cable at the pinch bolt. I'm going to resecure that, make sure that's nice and tight. And then this one is basically upside down, but it's the same process. We're going to go ahead and loosen the 2 adjustment bolts. Now it's upside down, so remember that your clockwise and counterclockwise can be confusing. And then, so here, because when you're looking at the behind the bolt, it's actually, the directions are opposite. There it is. So then I've loosened the adjustment bolts. Now the caliper is free to move like this. And then I'll come in to the pad adjuster. Again, going to adjust for the clearance, which is really done mostly by sight, and then we can also tell by feel. You can see how much wiggle room there still is. This pad's out a bit. That's pretty good right there. Or another way, you can tighten it all the way down and just back it off a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to align the pads with the rotor and go ahead and tighten down those adjustment bolts. It may take a couple tries to get the exact alignment you need, and sometimes you can just have one alignment bolt loose if you want to see how I've tightened down the rear one, and this one I can still move it a little bit while I'm still tightening down. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the real business end of the Allen key here to tighten that down to that 8 Newton meters. Obviously, if you know, you have some way of maybe seeing under here, getting underneath it, it's easier, but I'll show you how to do it while it's just sitting on the ground. There we go. And then, sorry I'm in the way. Okay, last step before a little test ride. Go ahead and get the lever feel. Again, you want it to be giving you resistance about halfway to the grip. Obviously, if your lever's coming all the way to the grip, your brake is way too loose. You want it to be tight enough that when you pull it, it's going to give you a lot of resistance there about midway, and then you're never going to be able to squeeze it all the way to the grip. And then you can also pick up one wheel at a time and make sure that the rotors are clearing the calipers. So if you've got that, these are running freely, and then the tightness feel at the brake lever is good, then you are done. Then the last step, of course, we'll take it for a little test ride. Maybe don't put on the electricity, on the electric power for that. Just ride it, you know, as a regular bike while you're testing the brakes out. Make sure that the brakes are perfect. It's you know, probably the most important part of the bike. Okay, now we're gonna do the front disc brake. It's relatively easier, but I have to recommend one thing, which is to adjust the pad tightness, the clearance. I would get an Allen wrench with the ball end, and I'll show you why. All right. Okay, so we're going to, same thing as the rear brakes. This one is interesting though because we have the motor obviously here in the front wheel. So it is something that we have to contend with when we're adjusting the clearance of the brake pads. What I'm doing here first is just loosening the adjustment bolts. They don't really adjust anything, but they allow the caliper to be loose so that we can align it with the rotor. So we'll go ahead and get that aligned. So before we do that, we got nice and loose, and then I'm going to come in the back here. I'm going to jump around here. So we're going to come back through here for the pad adjuster and access it through the motor hub. Okay, there are high and low parts of the hub for the spokes, and then in these little valleys you can roll it there so you can access with your ball and the pad adjuster, and you can go ahead and run that in till it's tight, back it off a couple, and then we'll come back around and we'll go ahead by sighting through the caliper, how it's lining up with the rotor, and then tighten down the adjustment bolts. Nice and firm, 8 Newton meters. Okay, and then just pick up the front of the bike, and then we're gonna make sure we have the clearance that we want. It's pretty heavy with that motor there. And then check the lever feel up here. Again, it should come to about halfway before it starts to give you resistance. Right there.
Okay, also on the brakes, you have a lock up here. So if you want to come in right here, this is actually a lock. So if you need to park your trike somewhere and don't want to roll away, you pull the lever, put that in place. It's a parking brake, so the brakes will stay engaged, and then you can pop it out and you're on your way. So that's a nice little feature. Okay, so now I'm just going to take all the packaging off. Now that we're done with all the assembly, we're not gonna scratch or damage the frame anymore.
All right, now that your brakes are perfectly adjusted, let's go ahead and, before we have the passenger seat on, check your gears, take it for a ride. You're gonna make sure that your gears are great. If you feel like you need to do some adjusting, I'm going to show you how to run through the full adjustment of your gears with the seat off And we're also going to do it on the ground because obviously I don't expect really anybody to have this elevated like you would normally do a regular bike. So we can adjust the gears on the ground. There's a way to do it. So we'll go ahead and work on that. And then once the passenger seat is installed, there are other smaller adjustments you can make. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to show you how to do a full tune on the gears. Okay, just so you know, here's how you shift your gears. The little button down here will get you into a higher gear, and then the higher one up here will go to an easier gear. So a higher gear is when you're going faster. It may feel a little harder until you get up to speed. The easier gears are slower, but they help you get started or go up hills. Okay, so now we just rode the bike and put it into 7th gear. You can see it's in the smallest gear here, which is actually the high gear. That's the fast gear, is the little one, all right? So they're all the way over. That's the proper position for starting the derailleur adjustment, okay? And then if you do this properly, it's in the correct order, it's pretty easy. If you do it out of order, it's really hard to ever get it right. Now, ideally, you would have a bike in a stand so that you can pedal the bike while you're making the adjustment. When I'm able to do that, I can adjust gears in about 45 seconds actually. But here on the ground, it's going to take a little bit of fiddling with, but it's still fairly easy. All we need is a 9mm socket or wrench and a Phillips, okay? After we've got it in the 7th gear, which we already did. So the first step will be to loosen the cable. So that's the 9mm here. Just loosen that so the cable is loose. And now the derailleur is not connected to the shifter at all. Okay, next thing we want to do is, this is called a barrel adjuster right here, and this is made for little micro adjustments. We may need that later on. For the on the ground adjustment, you can see that if you turn it in the counterclockwise direction, you can see a little bit of silver coming up. That's pushing the cable housing away and will actually tighten the cable. I would go ahead and run the barrel adjuster all the way in so that the silver part that protrudes is going in. It's going to go all the way in until it stops, and then maybe back it off just a little bit. That will give you some ability to adjust the gears just a little bit if you need to in or out just a little bit. Okay, now what we're going to do, since we're on the ground and not able to do this by sound, usually I do it by listening to the gear chatter, which is how you're supposed to do it, how you're able to do it so quickly in a stand. But what we're going to do instead, we're going to do it by sight. So I want to line up the derailleur pulleys right here, perfectly vertically with the 7th gear. Okay, that's going to be our starting point. And to do that, I'm going to use the high limit screw, which is this one right here. And what it's actually going to do, if I turn that in clockwise, in the tightening motion, it's going to push the derailleur inwards. Okay, and it's actually moving the derailleur over this way. So we'll just do that until we have it perfectly vertically aligned. You can sight it from above and then also from the back. Let's see how it looks in the back here. If this is... So that looks nicely aligned. So at this point, since the shifter up on the handlebars is in 7th gear, and then the chain is also on the 7th gear, and the derailleur is lined up with the 7th gear, everything is on the same page, and so now we can tighten, we can reattach the cable. It's a little hard. I'm trying to stay out of the way here. Tighten that down very firmly. Okay, now at this point, since we're still staying on the ground, we're not able to pedal except by riding. We would actually have to go through the gears and we would shift through them. What you would do is just go into 6th gear first. Just go one click into 6th gear. If it doesn't go, a lot of times it won't because we need a little bit more tension on the cable. Then we can go here to the barrel adjuster. And you can turn that counterclockwise and you see some of that silver protrude, and it will make the cable a little bit tighter, and we'll bring it over into 6 more quickly. If you find that you need to use the barrel adjuster more than about this much, I would go back, I would move it back and then start and go back to step 1 and turn in the high limit screw a little bit. Okay, now the low limit screw, all it does is limits the derailleur from going past the 1st gear, which is the large one here on the inside. And so you can use the low limit screw right here to make sure that the derailleur goes far enough to get into the first gear, but not so far that it, falls off of the gear. So that one you won't know until you go click 1 by 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And then when you try to go from 2 to 1, sometimes it won't go in. That means that you need to go ahead and loosen the low limit screw. If we need to, if it's getting stuck in second, not going into first, but everything else works great, you can just back out this low limit screw right here. Just back it out a little bit. That will let the derailleur go a little bit farther over into the first gear. If the derailleur is going too far, which usually isn't the case, you can set the low limit screw, you can turn it inward a little bit, and that will keep the derailleur from going too far beyond first gear. So that's pretty much it in a nutshell. We have some other videos that might be helpful, but again, you probably won't be working with this in a stand or elevated. If you are, it is much easier to adjust the gears while you're able to pedal the bike with your hands. So there you go. Okay, so when you have everything adjusted, if you find that things are getting just a little bit out of adjustment, we have a way to make minor adjustments without using tools. And these are barrel adjusters, which are in several places I'll show you in just a second. Now these are for making very, very minor changes to just kind of improve the feel or the performance of your brakes and gears on kind of a marginal level. If you need to use the barrel adjusters beyond a certain point, I'll show you kind of what that is. You really need to go back to step 1 and do a full tune-up of the brakes or gears, okay? So first of all, there is a barrel adjuster on each brake lever here, okay? And the way they work is if you back it out, so here I am turning it in the counterclockwise or lefty-loosey direction here, it actually is tightening my cable. And then you can start to see threads emerge here. And then when you get the tension you like, it will make the cable tighter actually when you're backing this out. And then you can lock that into position like this. Now, with the barrel adjusters, people like to kind of get lazy and use them too much, and they can continue to back these out as the pads wear in or the cables kind of settle in. But there really is a limit to the barrel adjuster. The barrel adjuster is just kind of for a minor adjustment. I wouldn't back the threads out myself more than that much right there. It's about 1/4 inch. If you need to back the barrel adjusters out more than that to make your adjustment, then you need to go back, run them in, and readjust your brakes down at the cable, okay? But like I said, after you back it out to the position you like, you can go ahead and run in the lock nut right there to hold its position, okay? I'm gonna put this one back because this is about the right feel right there, yeah. So, run that one in. It's the same for this lever here, barrel adjuster here, operates the exact same way. And then if you want a little of adjustment down here at the caliper itself, it also has one. It works the same way. These are, well, that's not too bad there. You can operate by your fingers, but you can see there's not a lot of thread here, and you don't want to back it out too far. Also, this bolt itself is going to be put under a lot of pressure sometimes when you're operating the brakes, so you really don't want to abuse the barrel adjuster. You just want to use it for just a very, very minor adjustment when you feel like you need to make a little tweak there. But I wouldn't use it to actually adjust my brakes. Like something like this is just out way too far. It's possible you could snap it. That's probably a dangerous situation. I wouldn't recommend that at all. I would say with your barrel adjuster, just use it for making very, very minor adjustments like this. Very, very, very fine tuning. Okay? And then, so anyway, we like how we had this one, so I'm gonna run it in. Again, if you need to back it out more than, like I said, more than about that far, just run it back in and start from square one and tighten your cable up, okay? Safety first when you're riding an e-bike. The rear brakes also have the same exact thing because they're the exact same product. This caliper here, we can tighten that cable up like that, and then you can lock the position in with the lock nut. That's for the right one. I'm running it all the way in because we like how it is. And then for the one on the left, it's underneath, right here. Same deal. So there you go. So you can make minor adjustments, and that's also when the passenger seat is installed. You can access these pretty easily as well. Okay, there you go.
All right, so now we are going to install the fenders onto the seat. Before you put the seat onto the trike, you're gonna want to install the fenders first. It's gonna make it so much easier just to get it on here as all in one as opposed to putting on the seat first, then the fenders. To do the installation, your fenders are actually going to come with the bolts in the fenders, and these are 8mm, so you'll need 2 8mm, one to hold the bolt underneath and an 8mm wrench for the top, or if you have some sort of pliers to hold the nut here and tighten the 8mm on the top. So they come inside the fenders. I have removed them. I have them in my pocket. You also are gonna have 2 washers, so one washer will go on the top and one washer will go into the top and one washer will go on the bottom, then the nut will follow. So if you want to come in here close, we'll show you. You have your brackets right here, and you can simply rest your fender down here on the brackets like so. Actually, let me just get my screw ready. So I have my screw right here. Okay, and so now the top of the bolt actually will go in through the bracket like this. So you're gonna put it through like that. Oops. And just hold that with your finger. And then from here, you're gonna put on your washer like so. Oop. And then to follow with your nut. Okay. Now we have that one on. So let's put our second one on as well. Okay, alrighty. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop that one in as well. Put my washer, okay. Alright, so now that they're hand tightening, these are locked, locking nuts. Let me get my 8mm right here. Okay, so I have 2 8mm wrenches. And what you can do is put one right here on the bottom and put this one right here on the, oops, sorry, on the nut. And then from there, you can just begin to tighten. And you want to get this as tight, you know, you don't want it to be, you don't have to go crazy. But you want to make sure it is as tight as you can get it. Otherwise, the fender may rattle. And when you're installing the fender, try to just hold it in the same position so it's not moving and sliding, because you might scratch the top otherwise. Okay, so that's good. And we will just repeat the process on this bolt and the 2 other bolts right there, and then we'll show you how to install the seat on the back of the trike. Okay, one little tip here when you are installing your fenders is you want to make sure that this bolt is about in the middle of this bracket so the fender sits at the right distance over the tire. So I'm just going to loosen these a little bit. Now we can slide it. Let me loosen this one a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now let's get that lined up right in the center. Right about there should be good. That one looks about to be in the center right there. Okay, so from there, I'll tighten this down. That way it'll sit right where we want it to over the fender. Now the other thing I'll say, there shouldn't be a front or a back to these fenders, so you can seat them on the brackets in either direction. We've got 4 bolts here. We need to remove all 4 of those, and these are what's going to bolt the seat down. So to remove these, we should just be able to hand. So what I'm going to do is take all these out and then just set them aside. So don't lose the nuts for these. Again, hand loosen them all. Okay, take all these out. Okay, now got all 4 bolts here. Now from here, let's move on. I'm gonna put these in my pocket so I don't lose them. Now from here, we're going to remove this packaging. All right, so now we are going to install the fenders onto the seat. Before you put the seat onto the trike, you're gonna want to install the fenders first. It's gonna make it so much easier just to get it on here as all in one, as opposed to putting on the seat first, then the fenders. To do the installation, your fenders are actually going to come with the bolts in the fenders, and these are 8mm, so you'll need 2 8mm, one to hold the bolt underneath and an 8mm wrench for the top, or if you have some sort of pliers to hold the nut here and tighten the 8mm on the top. So they come inside the fenders. I have removed them. I have them in my pocket. You also are gonna have 2 washers, so one washer will go on the top and one washer will go into the top and one washer will go on the bottom, then the nut will follow. So if you wanna come in here close, we'll show you. You have your brackets right here, and you can simply rest your fender down here on the brackets like so. Actually, let me just get my screw ready. So I have my screw right here. Okay, and so now the top of the bolt actually will go in through the bracket like this. So you're gonna put it through like that. Oops. And just hold that with your finger. And then from here, you're gonna put on your washer like so. Oop. And then to follow with your nut. Okay, now we have that one on, so let's put our second one on as well. Okay, alrighty. Alright, so let's go ahead and pop that one in as well. Put my washer, okay. Alright, so now that they're hand tightening, these are locking nuts. Let me get my 8mm right here. Okay, so I have 2 8mm wrenches, and what you can do is put one right here on the bottom, and put this one right here on the, on the nut, and then from there, you can just begin to tighten. And you want to get this as tight, you know, you don't want it to be, you don't have to go crazy, but you want to make sure it is as tight as you can get it. Otherwise, the fender may rattle. And when you're installing the fender, try to just hold it in the same position so it's not moving and sliding, because you might scratch the top otherwise. Okay, so that's good. And we will just repeat the process on this bolt and the 2 other bolts right there, and then we'll show you how to install the seat on the back of the trike. Okay, one little tip here when you are installing your fenders is you want to make sure that this bolt is about in the middle of this bracket so the fender sits at the right distance over the tire. So I'm just going to loosen these a little bit. Now we can slide it. Let me loosen this one a little bit more. Okay. Okay, now let's get that lined up right in the center. Right about there should be good. That one looks about to be in the center right there. Okay, so from there, I'll tighten this down. That way it'll sit right where we want it to over the fender. Now the other thing I'll say, there shouldn't be a front or a back to these fenders, so you can seat them on the brackets in either direction. Okay, so now the fenders are installed, and we've removed the 4 bolts that come inside the frame to attach the seat on, and we have our 4 holes in the bottom. So I'm going to lift the seat up, put it on top, and then match the holes up. So you're going to lift it and put that down. Okay, now that we have that on, we're going to find the location of the holes. So first thing I'm going to do actually is take one of my bolts. I'm going to unlatch this. And once we find the first two, it'll be a lot easier to get the next two in. Okay, so I'm gonna pop that in the top here. Actually, what I'm gonna do is make this easier. I'm gonna lift this up, poke the screw through, boom, and now it's in. So lift it up a little, poke the screw in, and then you will be able to find the hole much easier. So pop it in. Oh, there we go. Now that is in, so now I'll just go ahead and latch this for a second, and if you can see underneath here, you'll see the screw popping out, and from there, I'm gonna hand tighten it in, and then I'm going to come back through and tighten with my tools. If you have a socket, that would make this even faster, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this. I think it'll be even quicker. And again, these are 4 very important bolts because this is what's going to keep your seat on. So really important we get these tight. Okay, there it is. Now, after we get all 4 on, we're gonna need to go back and sort of retighten all of them. Okay, so most or all the assembly is complete. Peter showed us how to tune the gears and adjust the brakes. One thing I wanted to say about that is brakes and gears should come relatively tuned out of the box. Try some of the simple adjustments before you move into the more difficult adjustments with redoing the gears and redoing the brakes. And if at any point you don't feel comfortable, please take it to a professional to have them adjust the brakes and the gears. It's very important that the brakes and the gears work properly on this e-trike rickshaw. Now, in addition to that, make sure to pump your tires before you get out and riding. They will not come pre-pumped. And if you just look here on the side of the tire, it's gonna tell you the PSI, which is max 30 PSI. It's located down here in the small print. You can actually do minimum 5 up to maximum 30. I like to get them pumped up pretty good. I like to keep them right around 30. It's gonna roll a little bit smoother and a little bit easier. Now, real quick also, there's gonna be a manual for your display in here, but I'll show you a couple quick things just to get you out and rolling. Just gonna hold your power button here. Make sure also your key is in the on position here to turn the bike on, then you hold the power button down. You've got your battery life, your speed, your level of pedal assist, how many miles you've gone. You've got the watt output that the motor is outputting. Now, it's a 750 watt motor, but at certain times you may actually exceed the 750 watt output. I've seen it go up to about 1200 watt output depending on the load and the hill and how hard you're working. Real quick, one little thing I'll just show you. If you hold the up button here, that's gonna turn your lights on. You can see the little light symbol come on the display. And again, a lot of this is detailed in a manual that comes in the box with your pedals and your charger. And you would just hold that button down to disengage it as well. And you can take your pedal assist up and down. Remember, if you're stopped, always keep it in 0. And your throttle is located on your right thumb here. Just, push that as little or as much as you want. And you have your gear shifter here. And that's it. We will have more videos to follow detailing ride demos, how to properly and safely ride the e-bike rickshaw, but that completes our assembly. If you have any other questions at all, please email us, theteam@630.com, or call us 310-982-2877. We'll always have someone standing by to help you. So enjoy your ride on the new e-rickshaw, and thanks again, and don't forget, it's your journey or experience. Enjoy the ride. Hey everyone, I'm Dustin, CEO of 630, and today we're going to take you through a sizing and fitting video for our new electric bike rickshaw, 750 watt with the passenger seat. We've got riders from 4'11" to 6'2". We're going to size them and fit them and show you how they can be fit perfectly on our rickshaw. So stick around. All right, so before we get into our sizing, I just want to introduce you to our electric bike rickshaw, the 750 watt passenger tricycle, and just walk you through a few of the details before we get into it. Now, number one, you have an adjustable seat clamp here, which is going to allow you to raise and lower the seat, which is why we're going to be able to accommodate various heights. You can also raise and lower the handlebars and tilt the handlebars. So again, you can adjust to the rider's height, weight, body type, and you're going to see that upcoming here with all of our riders and the different body types, how we can easily adjust to them to make sure they have a comfortable riding position. Also, when you're carrying passengers in the back, you want to make sure you have complete control of the tricycle. So you'll see how we can get the handlebars dialed in, get it set up perfectly for their bodies so they have complete control and it's safe to ride. Now, obviously, this is our electric rickshaw. So you've got the seat on the back here, you've got a footrest for your riders. The 750 watt front hub motor is going to take you up to 16 to 20 miles an hour. This thing can really, really go fast. In addition, we've got the huge battery right here, the 21 amp hour, 48 volt. You're going to get up to 50 miles on this electric rickshaw, even with passengers. So it is a lot of fun. You've got the throttle here as well, and the pedal assist modes. And if you want to see more details or info, you can check out our YouTube and you can find tons of other videos on the electric bike rickshaw. All right, so without further ado, let's get into our riders and check out the fittings. Okay, we're here with our 4'11" rider. What was your name?
Bryn.
Bryn. And Bryn, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 17 inches and my inseam is 29 inches.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 105 pounds.
Okay, awesome. Can you go ahead and step on? Let me actually get the pedal in the right position for you here. Okay, go ahead. Perfect. Okay, so that's as low as the seat's gonna go for Bryn. Now her leg is a little bit fully extended, but she could still ride. And don't forget, you have a throttle also, so you don't even have to pedal if you don't want to. But how does it feel for you? It's not bad, right? The handlebars look maybe a little high. Mm-hmm. We can lower those down for her. Let's go ahead and loosen our adjustment bolt right here. Oh, better?
Yeah.
Feels good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, obviously with a tricycle, she doesn't have to balance, so as long as she can get on and off easily, I think we've got a good fit. How does it feel for you?
It feels comfy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, how about step on off for us? Or get off the bike so we can just see. There we go. Perfect. So she did it, 4'11". Would you feel okay riding that?
Yeah, I would totally feel okay riding this.
There we have it. So we've got a good fit for our 4'11" rider. Let's move up to 5 foot. Okay, now we're here with our 5 foot rider. What was your name?
Sandy.
Sandy. And Sandy, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 19 inches and my inseam is 28.5.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
I'm 120.
Perfect. So if you want to go ahead and step on, hold the brakes when you get on so it doesn't roll away. Yep, and just go ahead and step up. Perfect. And let's go ahead and get the pedal. Go ahead and pedal backwards right here. And let's see your foot in the lowest position. There we go. So her legs ideally a little bit straighter than I would like, but of course you have the pedal assist and the throttle so the bike can do the work. So even if you don't have maximum efficiency on an e-bike, it should be okay. But it actually looks like an okay fit. Do you feel comfortable?
Yeah, my legs stretched out kind of a little bit more than I want, but I feel pretty secure with it being 3 wheels.
Yeah. How about the handlebars?
Oh, that feels fine.
Yeah? Okay. Well, yeah, we've got her in an ergonomic position, looks relaxed. The other thing I'll note is we do have a suspension seat post on here, and that actually raises the seat up about 2.5 inches. So in Sandy's case, or our 4'11" rider's case, if they wanted to bring the seat down a little bit, you can easily swap the seat post out, and you can also contact 630 and we could send you a different seat post, which is going to lower the seat 2.5 inches. That would give Sandy that little bit more knee bend that I think she would be looking for. So either way, we can make it a fit for her at 5 foot. And let's go ahead and move up to our 5'1" rider. Okay, now we're here with our 5'1" rider. What was your name?
Teresa.
Teresa. And Teresa, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 22, my inseam is 30.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
Approximately 130.
130, perfect. If you can go ahead and step on, hold the brake when you get on, and step onto the pedal. There you go, and step up. Perfect. Okay, looks good. She's got a nice slight bend in her knee on the downstroke. How does that feel? Feel comfortable? Okay.
Feels good?
Cool. Any adjustments you think you'd want me to make?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, there we have it. So at 5'1", we've got a good fit. Her back's upright, her arms are relaxed. Looks like she's ready to take on the road. So let's move up to our 5'2" rider. All right, now we're with our 5'2" rider. What was your name?
Jerry.
Jerry. And Jerry, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 19, my inseam is 33.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
120.
120. Okay, can you go ahead and step on? Hold the brake when you get on there. And okay, let me see. Go ahead and let me pedal backwards so we can get your foot in the lowest position. There we go, right there. Perfect. That looks pretty good. You've got a nice bend in the leg on the downstroke. Actually, back looks upright. I don't think we need to make adjustments, but what do you think?
No, feels good.
Perfect. We've got her back nice and upright. Arms are relaxed, ergonomic position. I think we've got a great fit at 5'2". Let's move up to our 5'3" rider. All right, we're with our 5'3" rider. What was your name?
Rohini.
Rohini. And Rohini, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 15 inches and my inseam is 28.5 inches.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
135 pounds.
Great. If you can go ahead and step on, hold the brake when you get on. Right here, hold that just so it doesn't roll away. And go ahead and step onto the pedal, and then you can step up. There you go. That looks pretty good also. How does that feel for you? We could raise the handlebars, or your leg maybe could be raised up a little bit, do you think? Pedal all the way backwards so your foot's in the downward position. Stop right there. Maybe a little bit. How does it feel for you? Good. Any adjustments, or you think you'd be good with it?
We could probably bring this down a little bit, or inwards.
The handlebars?
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so you've got 2 bolts to adjust here. Let's see, you're gonna go right here. Oh. There we go.
Like right here.
All right.
Just a tad bit.
And again, you've got the 4 custom adjustment points, so it's real easy. Does that feel better? Perfect. So we've got a great fit for our 5'3" rider. Let's move up to 5'4". Okay, we're with our 5'4" rider. What was your name?
Deidre.
Deidre. And Deidre, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 19 inches and my inseam is 31 inches.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
130 pounds.
Awesome. Can you go ahead and step on? And then step onto the pedal. Yeah, I can get you. There you go. And let's see now. Go ahead and pedal backwards with your foot like this and stop right there. So that actually looks pretty good in terms of the height. How does everything else feel?
Feels good.
Any adjustments you would want to make, or feels okay?
Can the bar come closer?
Maybe a little. Let's see. You just loosen these 2 bolts right here so they can bend in that way.
I see. Yeah, this actually,
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. How's that feel? Not bad?
Good.
So we've got her in a good upright position. Her arms are a little bit outstretched, but not too bad. She still doesn't have to lean forward, which is what we want. And she got on easily. So we've got a fit for our 5'4" rider. Let's move up to 5'5". Okay, we're with our 5'5" rider now. What was your name?
Alicia.
Alicia. And what's your arm length and inseam?
Arm length 17, inseam 30.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
145.
145. Awesome. Go ahead and get on for us, and we'll adjust it for your body. Perfect. So the leg extension looks pretty good to me. I wouldn't mess with the height. How do the handlebars feel?
That's pretty good.
Good for your body? Okay, perfect. Well, there we have it. No adjustments from our 5'4" to our 5'5" rider. Let's move up to our 5'6" rider. Okay, we're with our 5'6" rider now. What was your name?
Brianna.
Brianna, and how long is your arms and your inseam?
My arms are 15 and my inseam is 29.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
130 pounds.
Awesome. So go ahead and step on and we'll get it all set up for your body. Perfect. Now how does that feel? Actually, the leg, we've had a lot of our riders from 4'11" to 5'6" have a similar height for the seat. How does that feel for you, okay?
Yeah, this feels perfect.
Handlebars, do you want those adjusted? I think maybe tilting them up a little bit.
Yeah, a little higher.
Okay. So let's go ahead and loosen these. Oop. So how about that?
Perfect.
And then we can raise them up too. Sorry, go ahead. Okay, how's that? Better?
Yep, awesome.
All right, there we have it. We've got a good sit fit for our 5'6" rider. Nice ergonomic, straight back, relaxed arms. Let's move on to our 5'7" rider. All right, we're with our 5'7" rider. What was your name?
Salvador.
Salvador. And what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 18 and my inseam is 30.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 181.
Awesome. Go ahead and step on to the trike and let's see how we can fit it perfectly to your body. Okay, and how does that feel? The bend is okay by me. How does the position feel for you?
I mean, it feels great. It feels natural to me.
Cool. His back looks upright. He's not reaching too far. I would say it's a fit. Let's go ahead and move on to our 5'8" rider. Okay, we're with our 5'8" rider now. What was your name?
Thomas.
Thomas. And Thomas, what's your arm length and your inseam?
19 and 29.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
195.
Awesome. Go ahead and step on. We'll get it all set up for your body.
Excellent.
Okay, great. So I raised the seat a little bit up for Thomas in advance after our 5'7" rider. And actually, can you bring it down to the bottom? Pedal backwards so it goes
Pedal
down.
backwards, okay.
Yep, that looks good to me. He's got a slight bend at his knee. How does the handlebars and everything feel?
Feels really good. My back is straight. Posture is perfect. I can reach them exactly.
Awesome.
Feels really good.
Looks good to me. His back's upright, arms are relaxed. Let's move on to our 5'9" rider. Okay, now we're with our 5'9" rider. What was your name?
Avis.
Avis. And Avis, how long are your arms and what's your inseam?
23 inches on the arms and 33 inches on the inseam.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
131.
131. Awesome. Can you go ahead and step on?
Sure.
Okay, great. So it looks like the seat's actually well adjusted from our 5'8" rider as well. Does that feel okay to you on the legs?
Yeah, legs feel good.
How about the handlebars in the position?
Maybe a teeny bit high so they could go a little lower.
Bring them lower.
Yes, just
Okay.
a little bit.
All right, let's go ahead and lower them. Okay, grab onto them because they're going to fall down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that feels good right there.
Perfect. And again, real simple, easy adjustment. And there we go. We've got our arms nice and relaxed, her back upright, great leg extension. I think we've got a great fit at our 5'9" rider. Let's move up to 5'10". All right, we're with our 5'10" rider now. What was your name?
Aaron.
Aaron. And Aaron, what's your arm length and your inseam?
19 and 31.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
170.
Awesome. Go ahead and step on and we'll go ahead and get it adjusted for your body. Okay.
Feels pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How about the handlebars? Okay?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. There we go. So no adjustments from our 5'9" to our 5'10" rider. He's got good leg extension. He likes the arm positioning. His back's upright. He's not leaning forward. We've got a good fit. Let's move up to our 5'11" rider. Okay, now we're with our 5'11" rider. What was your name?
Brian.
Brian. And Brian, what's your arm length and your inseam?
It is 19 and 33.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
155.
155. Awesome. Go ahead and get on. Great. And we'll see if we can get it all adjusted for your body. Okay, so I raised the seat a little bit from our 5'10" rider. It looks like it's good on the leg extension to me. How do you feel about the handlebars?
Yeah, they're feeling really nice actually.
Okay. No adjustment?
I don't think so.
There you have it. So the other thing I mentioned is it's all about the rider's body and what they like, which is why we have easily adjustable points. You can tilt, you can raise, you can lower. Doesn't mean that a rider who's shorter or taller will want them raised or lowered. And so, but we can adjust it if need be. So we've got a great fit for our 5'11" rider. Let's move up to 6 foot. All right, we're with our 6 foot rider. What was your name?
Nick.
Nick. And Nick, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 20 and my inseam is 30.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
256.
Awesome. Can you go ahead and step on? And we'll get this all adjusted for your body. There we go. Great. How does that feel on the leg extension?
The legs feel good. I just feel like the handlebars are a little low.
Totally. Yep. So let's go ahead and raise these up for you.
Sounds good.
Let's bring our cap down here. Okay, where do you think?
That feels good.
Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and tighten that down. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. We got your arms a little more relaxed now. Your back's upright. Feels good?
Yeah, feels great.
Perfect. Got a fit for our 6-foot rider. Let's move up to 6'1". All right, we're with our 6'1" rider. What was your name?
Brendan.
Brendan. And Brendan, what's your arm length and your inseam?
My arm length is 26 and my inseam is 32.
Perfect. And how much do you weigh?
I weigh 161.
161. Awesome. Can you go ahead and step on? We'll get it all set up for your body.
You got it.
Okay. How's that feel on the leg extension down there?
Pretty good, weirdly.
Okay. And the arms and things, comfortable?
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable.
Yeah, you got good bend. It's relaxed. Your shoulders are upright. You're in a nice ergonomic position.
Yeah, I feel real good.
So we don't need to make much adjustments from our 6-foot rider. Brendan's a fit. Let's move up to our final rider at 6'2". Okay, we're with our tallest rider now, our 6'2" rider. And what's your name?
Leif.
Leif. And what's your arm length and your inseam?
Arm length is 25 inches, inseam is 33 inches.
Awesome. And how much do you weigh?
215 pounds.
Perfect. Go ahead and jump on. Actually, let me raise the seat before you get on. I'm just noticing it's a little bit low. Let's go ahead and put it up here. Go ahead and try that. How's that feel on the leg extension?
Feels good.
And how about handlebars? A little low?
Could be a little bit higher.
Yep. Let's go ahead and start here with the tilt.
That's good.
Good there. And bring them up a little higher maybe?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and adjust this. Sorry. How's that, better?
Yeah, that feels good.
Okay. Perfect. All right, there we go. Got his back upright, arms relaxed. Does that feel comfortable?
Feels comfortable.
Cool. So we got a fit for our 6'2" rider. That's a wrap on all the heights. Stick around as we wrap it up. Okay, so we've just fit and sized riders 4'11" to 6'2" on our electric bike rickshaw, and you can see everybody's a fit. They all can ride and be fit perfectly, and actually I think we could have riders even shorter than 4'11" and taller than 6'2". Especially on the taller end, we could get the seat higher, the handlebars higher, and on the shorter end, we could probably accommodate 4'10", 4'9" if need be. But you can see, our rickshaw accommodates of various heights. You can take passengers with you. It's a lot of fun. You can find it on our website now. And don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. Enjoy the ride. All right, so today we're going to show you an e-bike rickshaw that can carry over 600 pounds. But before I do, hit the subscribe button below. Stay in touch with us here at 630. Be the first to know about all the new content we're putting out, giveaways we do, and of course, new product releases. All right, so right here, I've got the 630 electric bike rickshaw. It's a tricycle. We got 3 wheels. This thing is so much fun and super cool. I've also got my riders with me. I got Jasper on my right and Adam on my left. And what we're going to do today is demonstrate to you the weight capacity. Well, we're not going to show you the capacity, but we're going to show you how the e-bike rickshaw can perform with 600 pounds of load on here. So Jasper's about 250, Adam's about 350. Combined, they're about 600 pounds. And we're going to show you how this e-bike rickshaw can easily get moving and get going with 600 pounds of rider weight. Now, before we jump into it, you can see you've got the bench seat in the back here. This could fit, you know, up to 3 kids, and I say up to 2 adults, depending on, you know, the children and the adults. It really depends. It can be most comfortable for 1 adult, but we've also have some very slender adults too that can fit here side by side. So really depends on, you know, what's comfortable for you and your riders. In addition to that, we've got a 750 watt front hub motor and a 21 amp hour battery. So we're going to demonstrate the kind of power that this has to you. We're going to demonstrate what kind of power it has. You're going to get 20 to 50 miles of range. Top speeds are going to be 20 miles an hour with the throttle, 28 in pedal assist, and we'll show you even with 600 pounds on the rickshaw, how easy it accelerates and how easy it gets going. Okay, you've got the bench seat in the back here with a seat belt to strap your riders in. You've got your thumb throttle up here, so you don't have to pedal if you don't want to. You can use the throttle. You've got your display up here. Front and rear disc brakes, 3 disc brakes, 2 on the rear, 1 on each wheel, 1 in the front. Stopping power is more than enough. You're also going to see how nimble and easy it is to steer this rickshaw, even with a rider on the back. So the beauty is that this rickshaw is not much longer than a standard e-trike. So if you are looking for a trike with a high weight capacity, this thing's going to ride normal, even with a seat on the back. And if you really want to, you can take the seat off. And in the future, we'll have baskets that you can buy to replace the seat. So this is a really, really versatile and cool e-bike rickshaw. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And whoever wants to drive first can get in the driver's seat. And whoever wants to be passengers first can get on the back.
I guess so.
And so you've got 20-inch, 4-inch rear tires in the rear and a 24-inch in the front. So it sets it lower in the back to keep that weight down, low center of gravity to prevent tipping and make it easy to steer. In addition, the 4-inch wide tires also keep it safely on the ground, provides a cushy ride, and just makes it more balanced and easy to steer. All right, Jasper, so you're off and running. Just go ahead and make a loop and show everyone. Now, he's only in level 2 right now also, and you can see they get going with absolutely no problem at all. And they make the turn easily. Oh, stay away from this ditch right here. Yeah. There you go. Actually navigated that. You can see even navigated that little slope pretty good too. And why don't you try it with just using the throttle up here too? Yep. Oh. So what do you think? How easy it is to steer?
It's crazy easy to steer. Like it's a smooth ride and it's going straight wherever you turn. You don't have to worry about tipping or anything, and the handling is really crazy on this. This is pretty awesome.
How do you feel about the acceleration?
The acceleration is crazy. I love bikes regardless, but anything electric is so cool. And it took both of us without any hesitation the entire time. So this is a good one, definitely.
And this is Jasper's first time ever riding an e-trike today, and he picked it up quick, even with a passenger on the back.
Right. I really like outdoor stuff, especially when you put a motor on it. So I'm hype. Cool. Definitely.
All right, let's go ahead and swap positions. Oh. That was a quick transition. Good job. And you can see too, we have a front shock up here. So this, you can see that, like how much give it has, which is great for going over bumps and just making it easy. Now remember, stay as far in the middle here when you make that turn as you can, and don't get caught down here. Yeah. And go ahead and go for it. Jasper's all strapped in.
Good. I'm all set. All right.
Oh. Coming to Well, there you have it. Good braking.
Yeah, you want to brake, and it's boom.
There you go. Yeah. And you can see the shock too gave him some absorption to make it easier on them versus, a stiffer fork. So how do you think about the handling with the rider on the back?
Just fantastic. Just as if there's no one there. really.
How
yeah.
about your comfort, the seating position, everything?
It's very comfortable as far as bikes go. You know, the only thing more comfortable would be like a bucket seat or something like that. But for a bike, it's super comfortable.
Cool. How about back here? How do you like the ride back
I
here?
really like the ride, especially the shocks when he was braking. It was great. Wasn't too harsh. I mean, this is just a comfortable ride all around. I really like it.
All right, well, there you have it. The e-bike rickshaw performed with our riders just cracking the 600-pound mark. Hey, everyone, Dustin here, CEO of 630. And today we're going to do a ride-along on the e-bike rickshaw with my little son, Hudson, who's 2, my other little son, Trey, who's 4. We've got them all buckled in. I always put helmets on. Hudson, yeah, you got your helmet on? Hudson wanted no shoes today. So you're just going to ride along. I'll show you how it operates. And we'll go on a fun ride. You guys ready to go?
Yeah.
You want to go on a bike ride?
Yeah.
You want to go on a bike ride?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay, we're all strapped in. You guys ready? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Let's do this. Okay, we'll be back. So I feel good because we have the seatbelt back there and their helmets on. How's the ride?
Good.
Is the sun too bright? Okay. It's really easy to steer and should be comfortable for them. You can see Hudson's hanging onto the side railing, so he's nice and secure. What, buddy? All right, so I got the dual disc brakes in the rear, so we have 3 disc brakes. This is a big hill we're coming down. We're gonna go back up it too. But we're just gonna ease the brakes in. Do you guys wanna check out the park?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go check out the park. I just feel so much more stable on this with the kids because you got 2 wheels back there to balance. Are you guys comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, who's hitting me? The other cool thing is we can easily fit on the sidewalks or the bike lane, whichever you prefer. So we're gonna cross here. Okay, here we go. Don't hit each other. And we've got the 7 gears, so I'm gonna go ahead and shift a little bit. There we go. I don't know who's gonna win. So we're just gonna go to the park here. And then we're gonna let them jump out. We'll show you how they get off, how easy it is. Okay, here's the park.
I want a bigger park.
Bigger park?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. I'm gonna show you this too. Here's the sidewalk. So I just wanna show you how we fit right through here. No problem. We're gonna park right here.
I don't want to park.
Oh, you don't wanna park?
I want to go to somewhere else, a bigger park.
Okay, can we stop here for 2 minutes?
Yeah, then we'll go in the bigger park.
All right, let's watch how they get off. So we'll go to the bigger park next. Okay, ready? Let's show them. Okay, we're gonna unbuckle. Take your helmet off, Hudson. You wanna go play? Now step down. There you go. And ready? Whoop. Go ahead. You wanna get off and play a little?
Let's look first.
Okay. All right. I like to keep the helmets right here. All right, we'll let them play a little bit and then we'll show you how we get home. Okay, let's buckle.
Ma.
Yep, buckle. That's good.
Dad, look at that guy.
Trey found a roly-poly. Okay.
Hey.
Trey, let's put your helmet on.
Ha.
Yeah, he needs his hat. That's right.
Ha. What the off? I got him and he just found it. I throw him around because I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay, so they're all buckled in. You can see Trey's tall enough to get his feet on the little footrest too. So we'll get all saddled up. Easy to maneuver. We're back. And we'll start our journey home. All right, I'm gonna show, I'll stay on the sidewalk here too. Because if you want to go on the sidewalk, you can. Feel safer. So this is 750 watts, 21 amp hour battery. You're gonna get like 20 to 60 miles, 20 to 50 miles, depending on the weight of the rider, where you're going, what type of terrain, how fast you're going. And then you can hit up to 20 miles an hour on this if you want, but I don't recommend that, especially if you have children on the back. Right now, we're going about 10 miles an hour. How's the breeze? Good. What? Do bugs? Yeah, they do. All right, so now we got to get back up that hill we just came from. Okay, so we're gonna stay in the bike lane. We gotta take Hudson home first. Okay, make sure to wait till it's safe. And let's go for it. In a perfect world, I would be doing that at a stoplight. All right, so we're gonna show you how we make it up the hill. I'm 220 pounds. Trey is about 45 and Hudson's probably 25. So we got about 300 pounds on here right now. And I don't know if you can see, this is a pretty large hill here. I'm not really exerting very much at all. What? How is it back there? My kids absolutely love this e-rickshaw. So much fun. Bring them all over the place. Okay, we're getting to a steep part here. Now, I can actually downshift a little. There we go. Now, I would believe that most people aren't going up hills this size all the time, but we're still doing it no problem. All right. And we made it. And we're back. And I see Mommy still waiting. All right, We did it.
Now Hudson gets off and I go into the
Okay, now we'll drop Hudson off and we'll go to the big park. So thanks for coming along on our e-rickshaw ride along. Did you have fun? Trey, do you love it back there?
He's gone.
Trey, do you love it back here?
Yes, but where is he?
He lost his roly-poly. But thanks for sticking around on the electric rickshaw ride.
Hi, I'm Kara. I just wanted to show you our new e-rickshaw. We're going to head out to the park, so let me show you some of the features here. We put all of our toys and sand toys in here in the basket. It's got nice space. We can fit a lot in there, whether it's backpacks from school, sand toys from the park. There's also a throttle right here in case you need some extra assist up a hill. You've got the pedal assist of different levels. You can go up or down. It goes up to 5, so it's really easy to use. And we love the seatbelt because I know the kids are safe in the back. We can fit up to 3 kids. Mine are 7 and under, and they fit all comfortably in the back. So we love using it and taking it all over the place, whether it's the grocery store, the park, or just a quick pickup at school. All right, guys, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, hop in.
Can we bring our toys?
Sure, put it in the back.
There, that might fit, but it's okay. I'm going to seatbelt on.
All right, guys, get on in.
Okay, Trey, come on, get on the bike.
In the back.
So as we're getting ready, I just turn it on, power it on. I'm gonna put my pedal assist down to probably 3 or 2 because we have a downhill ride.
Okay, I can do it for you guys. Okay, Trey, hop in.
Okay.
All right, we're ready to go. Everyone buckled in?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay, but I'm gonna put
Okay, here's how we're gonna load a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, and 2-year-old onto the seat. All right, begin loading process. We got to get all our helmets on. Put the little guy in the middle.
Go all the way over.
So Dylan.
Come on, Jill.
Give me the seatbelt. Where's my helmet? No, give me it. Give me it. I want a seatbelt in it. I have barely any room. Trey, scoot over.
No, I didn't say this part would be easy.
Trey, scoot over. I can't. That's only a
Trey, move your arm. Move your arm. There we go.
Yeah. Whoa,
Okay.
whoa.
Okay. Cozy in the back here.
Here's your helmet.
Let's get all our helmets on.
Where's my helmet? The PJ Masks one.
Oh shoot.
Bumps.
Okay. Last helmet, but not least.
Hudson. Hey, stop. Stop that. Stop.
All right. Now let's get everything turned on. Okay.
Yeah.
Jack, come on.
Everybody wave to the camera. Say hi.
Bye.
Keep filming.
Hudson! Come on!
Okay, wait one more time.
How does that e-bike have 3 wheels? Come on,
Hey guys, I'm Dustin. I have nearly 20 years experience in the bike and e-bike industry, and today I am going to show you picking up my daughter from school on this amazing e-bike rickshaw. This is a 750 watt electric rickshaw, 750 watt front hub motor, 21 amp hour battery, so you can get 20 to 50 miles. The benefit of this is I can use this around my neighborhood, around town, to pick up and drop off my kids for certain activities. I don't have to deal with the car lines. I don't have to deal with the waiting. And I'm gonna take you along with the ride, show you how much she loves it, and just overall show you how this thing works, how fast we can go, and how easy it is. So stick around. Okay, so we're en route. I'm gonna take you with us. The cool thing is if you need to cut through neighborhoods or sidewalks, I'm gonna show you how this thing fits. The difference is a golf cart or something wouldn't make it as easy on the pickup. So let's do this. And I can actually get there faster to pick up my daughter on the rickshaw than I can in my car. I'm gonna show you why when we get to the pickup line. So if you have kids, you know all about the school drop-off pickup lines and how you can bypass that. So even in a golf cart, I see someone in a golf cart, you usually have to follow the rules of the road for cars. With this baby, we can just pull right up, park it, pick up my daughter. So we all know this, right? The pickup drop-off line. Again, we can avoid that. Okay, we got Dylan. Say hi.
Hi.
We're gonna load her up on the bike. You like going home on the bike, right? Okay. We'll sit it next to you. The new model's coming out. We'll have a basket underneath. We'll just put it right here. Ready? Yeah. All right, let's do this.
I haven't seen that before. Oh my god! What are we doing?
Showing everyone our new e-bike rickshaw. Say hi to all your friends. Okay, let's go for it. We could cut through there, but we don't want to get muddy. Did you hear the lady? Never seen that before? Oh boy, watch out for the water. So Dill, tell him. Do you like being picked up on this bike?
Yeah.
Is it more fun to go home on this thing?
Yeah, because the cars, you just have to sit there and wait. Like out here, you can just like look at like there's like a nice breeze. In the car, you can't like there's not like a whole opening.
And when it's sunny, isn't it nice to be out in the sun?
Yeah. But it's when it's cold, it's like it's just not that good.
All right, let's go for our final ascent back home. This is a big hill, but we can do it. I'm just shifting into first, make it a little easier. Okay, home stretch. She's inside. Okay, we did it. So I love picking her up at school on the rickshaw. Dill, before you go,
What?
do you like going on the rickshaw?
Yeah.
We have to tell the camera.
Yeah.
What do you love most? Being outside on a sunny
I
day?
like how it's comfortable and it's easy to get off, and there is a breeze a lot, and it goes fast.
Okay, do you want to go inside now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, there you have it. If you want to see more details, visit 630.com. Questions, email us at team@630.com. Call us 310-982-2877. Comment below. You can find this on our website right now. Like I said, 630.com. We have a 30-day test ride your bike policy. If you don't love it in 30 days, send it back. No questions asked, some money out of your pocket. Lastly, join our Facebook Peddlers group, download our app, connect with existing 630 riders before you purchase, and you can get familiar with the products. It's a lot of fun. So thanks for sticking around, and don't forget, it's your journey, your experience. What do I say next? Enjoy the ride.